At their annual town meeting last month, funding for full-day kindergarten was approved beginning this fall. That means the long-running KASE program is ending. Their staff was recognized at the June 18th school committee meeting for decades of educating Needham children. Mike Levin was there and has more on this recognition, which included a slideshow of highlights of the KASE throughout the years.
While the prospect of full-day kindergarten in Needham is exciting for many parents, for the staff of the KASE program, it means the end of 26 years of educating.
This is a very bittersweet time for us. We are saying goodbye to something we truly love. Excuse me. Anyway, but we also wanted to thank you all, the school committee and the district, for supporting us and encouraging us. We also want to thank all the, excuse me, the Needham families that shared their children with us. It's been a true joy. Just seeing those aha moments and talking to parents about what they brought home, the things they didn't know. Like, did you know that a shark can go through 20,000 teeth in a lifetime? I bet you didn't know that. KASE kids know that. Do you know that a kindergartner can stand up in a hippopotamus's mouth? Bet you didn't know that. They know that.
Your typical KASE class took kids all over the world, to ancient Egypt, the Arctic, the African rainforest, Hawaii, and even outer space.
When you'd enter KASE classrooms, you could find students, once I remember watching this, boarding the classroom jeep as they set out to visit exotic animals of the African savanna, and just really leaned on their teachers and on one another to grow and to learn.
And this was such a wonderful gift to Needham families to be able to have this program available to us for our students so that they could have a day's worth of learning and excitement and growth. And it really, it was a tremendous program in and of itself, and it filled a void that we had in our system.
The other thing that is even more important than that is the KASE staff. And I do a lot of things in my life that I do very mediocrely, but what I'm really good at is hiring amazing people. And I did, and they exceeded every expectation.
We know that a big piece of what we're taking forward into full-day kindergarten comes from what you and your team did over the last 26 years. So in that sense, KASE will always be with us, even when we have full-day kindergarten. And I think I speak for all of us in the community, are very, very grateful for just the incredible dedication and commitment and all the love and care and learning that those 7,500 kids have experienced. So on all our behalf, thank you so much.
And thank you.
Thank you.
For the Needham Channel News, this is Mike Levin.
Also at the June 18th school committee meeting, an end-of-the-year report was given on the progress of the Race, Equity, Access, and Leadership Coalition. Having met 3 times during the school year, the Real Coalition discussed equity and inclusion in Needham Public Schools with a few goal areas in mind. The coalition's representatives at the school committee meeting included a parent, an educator, and a graduated senior from the class of 2019.
We have educated people on equity and certainly brought more of a highlight to it of we don't want to keep covering it up, and we don't want to take a step back and sit down and wait for something to happen. We need to be proactive about it. It's being able to ask the question, for example, like, oh, well, when we read, I don't know, Uncle Tom's Cabin, which we read part of it in AP Lit this year, how do you take that as a person of color versus someone who's white, or versus someone who perhaps isn't born in America, perhaps is an immigrant? Does that change your point of view? And it's changing that question from, well, how does that make you feel? Which is very pointed and is not going to be taken the right way, to, well, what are the different points of view that you could see in this one situation? And naturally, there's going to be backlash. No matter what you do, there's going to be people who do not like it or don't want to do it, and that could be because they're scared. It comes to the question of, okay, do you not want to do it because you're uncomfortable, or do you not want to do it because you don't think it's valid? And usually it's because they're uncomfortable about it. I don't do this at home, why should I do it in public? I don't do this with my family, or sometimes even, I don't want to confront this, period. I would rather keep going and pretend everything's fine. And so it comes to this conversation of, even if it's just one single person, and it could be faculty, it could be a student, if there's that one person who wants to be there and wants to ask these harder questions and have a conversation, not an argument about it.